Hello and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to do a reading and a talking through of this new moon in Taurus. So I have just done a video yesterday. Sorry, I was losing track of what day it was then. Talking about the week ahead energies, and in that video, I did end up talking about the new moon in Taurus quite a lot. Not that I was planning to, but it did just sort of happen because it felt like it was such an important theme this week. But I still wanted to do a video specifically looking at the new moon in Taurus, what it asks of us, what's special about this particular new moon, and a little bit of like guidance on how to sort of like navigate this energy and like how to utilize it best. So in true Taurus fashion, I have made myself a nice hot drink to actually try and enjoy the lovely sensual pleasure that is Taurus energy. So let's talk about that now. So Taurus is very much the sign of sensual pleasure. So very much about being in the body. Its planetary ruler is Venus, and Venus is the planet of love, pleasure, beauty, and specifically with it being Taurus, it's more about like the kind of physical sensation of enjoyment. So if you've ever met a Taurus, no Taurus I've ever met doesn't like luxury. And I feel like this new moon is really asking us to be more luxurious. So this is my attempt to bring some more luxury into my life and have nice hot drinks and be cozy and warm and all that lovely stuff. So yeah, so speaking a little bit more about this specific new moon. So the new moon is in Taurus, and the reason we love this particular transit is because the moon is exalted in Taurus, which means it really, really likes to be there. It's not only comfortable, which is its home sign, you call the domicile, its exaltation is where it's at its shiniest and best place. It's really super like magnificent there. So working with this new moon is like something I would really recommend. I don't always work with every moon, and since we've had all the eclipses, I've not felt like doing what you generally do for full moons and new moons around that time because it just didn't feel like a regular full on new moon. So new moons are much more about setting intentions. It's less about action, less about like being in that kind of full energy of like, let's go, things are happening, being extroverted and outward. That's what it is. It's more of a time for inward, more of a time for reflection, and more a time for like kind of think of it as like the winter period, right? So you have different seasons where we have new moon, which is winter, and then full moon, which is like height of summer. So right now it's like much more about what do we actually want going forward in this next new cycle. We've just had an ending and now we're at a new beginning again, and it's about creating new intentions for this cycle. And with it being in Taurus, it's usually in the realms of luxury, in the realms of things that are pleasurable. Like, so you can set intentions that are more around what would bring more pleasure in my life, what would be luxurious, what would um self-care look like. Taurus is so much about taking care of the self, taking care of the body. So it could be new wellness routines, whether that's, it could be the gym, but it could be more just like, you know, not as intense as that. It can just be generally like more, again, more luxurious than it is necessarily like I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. Like, doesn't quite give me that energy. Although, like I say, it can absolutely include health. Like that's, but it might be more like how could I cook more and make nicer food for myself? Like these kinds of intentions. And this is a really good time to start setting those sorts of intentions going into the new cycle, where it's much more about the self and me and and my body and how I can take care of that in a nourishing, gentle way. So it's just so lovely because who doesn't need that, honestly? Like, I just think everyone could do with more of that, really. And then this particular new moon also sits in right next to Jupiter, and it sits with with Venus as well. So we've got Venus that's currently in Taurus, and Venus is Taurus is Venus's home sign, because it's the ruler. And then we've also got Jupiter in Taurus, which it's not its home sign, but it's still supportive of this moon. And then obviously we are in Taurus season, so the sun is also in Taurus as well. And obviously the moon is in Taurus. So we've got all of this like lovely benefic energy, because Venus and Jupiter are both very sort of supportive, gentle, easier going planets, let's say. However, we do also have Uranus that is sitting in Taurus as well, that's like next to this conjunction. So Uranus does ask for change, so it's a little bit less gentle, but I would say that it might be change that is really welcomed and like here to disrupt something in a way that maybe you've been wanting for some time. So there might be something here about when you're setting intentions, if you do indeed want to have like a ritual. I honestly, I would say like if there's any new moon to work with, like work with this one, because it's so supported by all of these different planets and it's in its exaltation. So if you do want to set some intentions, maybe there's something here around change that you've been wanting and looking for some change, because Uranus is here to sort of, it wants change. So there's something to look for there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull some cards for this new moon, to see what it's asking of us, really. So we have a general kind of idea of what new moons are about, what Taurus is about specifically, so setting intentions around like our self-care. But also something that might be worth thinking about before I get to that is which house Taurus sits in for you. So that might be an area, just again, to add a little bit more specificity for how this might show up for you. So, for example, if Taurus was in your seventh house rules relationships. So there might be something here about looking at your, like, setting intentions around what relationships you want, like nourishing relationships, caring relationships. So it might, if that feels resonant for you, have a look for your, which house Taurus sits in, see what house, the meaning of that house, and then see if there's some intentions you want to set in the context of that house as well. That might be a really nice way to add some more kind of extra flavor to this ritual, if that makes sense. Okay, so actually, before I ask the question, let me just have a think. So what else do you want us to know about this new, what is this new moon asking of us, please? Collective new moon in Taurus 2024. Oh, that wanted to come out. Ah, interesting. I'll show you the cards in a second. What is this new moon here to show us? Oh, I love that. Okay, so here we've got the Aeon to start. So the Aeon card often speaks to a decision being made or a step being taken. This feels a little bit like what I was talking about with the Uranus conjunction. The Uranus, what is the word? Like Uranus's part to play in all of this, let's say. So there's something here about, like taking a definite step being taken. And we've also got here the Fool. So new beginnings. There's something really here about, it does really feel like that, honestly, because like obviously with it being a new moon anyway, there's something here about starting something new in a whole new way. Like it really feels like we've closed some old stuff off now, and it's like time to dream into what our new life could look like. We've also got here Four of Wands, completion. And to me, this is always the card of like celebration. So there's something here, like, again, like it's not a super action oriented. It's about I feel like, because I was asking what this new moon is asking of us and what's, like what it wants to show us, is there's something here about like seeing all of the kind of beauty and pleasure that is already here, and really taking stock of how far we have come. And I really feel like that's going to be so helpful with this new moon, of like, yeah, celebrating how far we've come, thinking about what those new beginnings are, what we want to leave in the past, what we want to bring in, and making it a really beautiful ceremony. Like, if you want to do it in real Taurus fashion, like, make sure that the setting you do it is like, it smells good. It's like, it's sort of imbue it, like tantalizing, that's the word, all of your senses. So make it smell good, make sure the lighting is nice, like put some nice music on, and really like get into the spirit of it that way. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull some cards from the Manifestation Moonology deck by Yasmin Bolan. And if you like either of these decks, the links will be in the description below for them. Okay. So what is the guidance for this new moon in Taurus, please? New moon in Taurus energy. Oh, I love that. Actually, I'll just show you now, feeling compelled. Trust all will be well. This really came up actually in the reading that I did yesterday, if you want to check that out for the week ahead. So looking at the themes of the energy, there's really something here about not rushing. It is not a time to rush. Like, Taurus wants us to slow all the way down. Taurus is very slow moving. Taurus is a fixed sign, so it's very stable. I always think fours are very stable as well. We've got the four here, so there's lots of stability and not rushing ahead, not pushing forwards, just setting intentions and enjoying what is here, and like having more luxury right now. And I feel like this is here because there has been this sort of energy of people feeling quite fried and quite frazzled by all of the energy that we have had recently. And it's like, sometimes it's hard to rest when you've been like, when your nervous system has been shot, right? And Taurus is like, it's okay, slow down. And people, I feel like there's this energy of people being like, yeah, but I can't, because like I need to keep going, otherwise I'm going to lose momentum. And there's the fear of losing momentum. But it's saying like, trust all will be well, like taking breaks, resting, recuperating, recharging is just as important as action and doing and going. I feel like this is a really important message, actually. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. In our culture, we are obsessed with productivity, with going forth. And these things are important. Let me just say that I'm not someone who's against productivity, but at the expense of our health. It is so often the case that we push and push and push, and our body, aka Taurus, is saying, I don't want to do this anymore. And we're like, no, but we have to keep going. We have to keep going. And the body is eventually will make noises louder and louder and louder until we get ill or we fall ill in some way. And then we are forced to stop. And Taurus is like saying, we need to stop this. We need to stop needing to get to the point of burnout and illness before we actually stop and enjoy and, and smell the roses is the expression that's coming to my mind, actually, which is interesting. Like, we need to stop and smell the roses sometimes. We need to see how far we've come. It's not always doing. It's doing things in a sustainable way that doesn't fry our nervous systems. But we have to learn to trust that it is absolutely safe to do that. And we need to create safety in our bodies. And something that also came up in the video I did yesterday is, in order to create safety in the body, a way that can be really helpful is breath work. I cannot recommend this enough. Like, I do it all the time, because we can't intellectually make ourselves feel safe. We can't tell ourselves, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. Our bodies don't hear that. Our bodies don't hear language. We have to show, not tell. And I think this is really, like, this feels like an important thing to say, that we do that through the body. Like, breathing is through the body. If you slow your breathing down, it signals to your body that it is safe. Whereas if you're just like saying, don't panic, what's wrong with you, you're fine, just relax, your body doesn't go like, oh great, thanks. Like, it doesn't respond to that, because the nervous system speaks through the body. It doesn't speak through the mind. It doesn't speak through language. So breath work could be a really helpful tool at this time, and it's been coming up so much recently. So yeah, developing a breathwork practice to signal safety to the body if you felt really fried, cannot recommend enough. Okay, so some more guidance, please, for this new moon in Taurus. What else does it want us to know? Yeah, that one. Oh, okay. Seeing the bigger picture. Yeah, so again, with it being about like setting intentions, it's like, it feels like it's asking us to dream bigger, dream more luxury, like not settling for scraps is actually what I'm hearing here. Like Taurus, like so I have a few friends who are Taurus, and they're the kind of people that they don't like, if they want to buy something, let's say they want to buy a car, right? They don't get like the cheapest car that just will do its job and it functions. They're like, I want to know it's got heated seats. I want to know that it's got like an amazing sound system. I want to know like its horsepower. I don't know. I don't know much about cars. This is not a good example. But my point is, like, they want like the best, right? They're like, I will pay for the best version of the thing that I'm going to buy, or at least like the best that they can get, right? So it's never, they never get the cheapest thing. They always get the thing that's like been recommended, like, and it's got like loads of reviews and all that kind of stuff. So there's something here about like really allowing ourselves to dream big, zoom out and be like, what would a dream life look like? What would my dream life, not something that's realistic, not something that's like safe, not something that, you know, is comfortable, but like really expand and go bigger. Like, if you, how much money would you want? What would you be doing on a day-to-day basis? What would you, you know, like really just get into that dreaming of like, and being unrealistic, right? Like, don't be realistic. That's not the point of dreaming. Dreaming is supposed to be like going big and like broadening your horizons, seeing the bigger picture. Oh, I love this. Okay, one more card for this new moon in Taurus. What's it asking, please? Oh, that's lovely. Unleash your kindest self. Yeah, that's so lovely. Yeah. So I think this is really about how we can be kind to ourselves. Of course, it can be kind to other people too, but because this new moon is really about self-care, that's what this transit, I was thinking about a book when I said that. That's what this transit's really about, is about self-care and about how we can be kind to ourselves and not push our bodies beyond the limits that they want to be pushed. Like, it's so important that we don't do that. And it's about learning how to be really kind to ourselves, speak kindly to ourselves, treat our bodies with kindness, give it the best treatment, not just settling, not this kind of like, oh, that's good enough, yeah, whatever. It's like, no, like, take the time to have the nice sort of bath or something, rather than a quick shower and it's just like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. That's a weird expression that I never use, but you know, it's that kind of thing. So like, not being quick and like push, that's Aries, right? Taurus is like, no. Like, that's not how we do things. We go slow, we take care of things, and we have luxury. Oh, I love that. Okay. So I think that is everything for the Taurus new moon. Oh yeah, I was going to mention actually. So there is a book. Here it is. making noises here, called Sacred Seasons by Kirsty Gallagher. And it's really lovely. Like it talks about all the different sort of astrological seasons and also what you can do in each season. So for instance, there is this new moon is in here, and it talks about rituals that you can do. And I just thought this was it's such a helpful book that I love looking at and referring to, like when the seasons start and you know, like whether it's Aries season, Taurus season, Gemini season, etc. So yeah, so just something, give you a little snippet here. So use Taurus season to ground your dreams in reality, and to love yourself, right? Begin a self love practice. Journal each day on what you love about yourself and what you're doing well, and why you can have faith in yourself. I don't know if you can hear that rain, so I might have to stop soon. But yeah, anyway, I just thought I'd suggest that because I just think it's such a lovely book and I use it all the time. And I'll put a link in the description below if you want to get it yourself, if you want to sort of get more in touch with the seasons and cycles of our lives. So thank you so much for watching that, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye.